Heavy Basher was sitting on a rocking boat. Sitting seemed the sensible thing to do. Heavy Basher was using the motion of the waves on the ship to facilitate infusing one drip of dressing screen into a flotation of must-trim whelps. Just one drip at a time. That's the way. It was the mantra of Heavy Basher's Association of Science Experimenters. His name was Mayud. Just one drip at a time, or anything can happen, and you won't know the recipe. The desired single drip was almost at the lip of Heavy Basher's test tube. If the wave behaved, and it had better. A large clump of reddish hair and a pair of huge grey eyes appeared in Heavy Basher's view. Alex is feeding the fishes. There's a moment before your brain can make any sense of what it has just taken in. What Heavy Basher meant to say was,
"Sorry, Fog. What are you saying?"
What came out of her mouth was, "Ugh." Fogdancer seemed to understand the question anyway. She was getting sick. On the sheep boat's deck. So Deadwolfishy took her to the side. Now she's feeding the fishes. Just then, Deadwolfishy himself came into the room. "There you are, you beggin' little." "Oh, hello lady, sorry for breaking in, but this loverly little gremlin got away on me." Heavy Basher's brain was still trying to make sense of what was going on, and failing. She froze as she realized what she had just done. She was using Deadwolfishy's shoulder to support herself as she stood up, and now she had both test tubes in her other hand. They weren't stoppered. Heavy Basher had two open test tubes in one hand and the other hand was. She caught Deadwolfishy's eyes, which had been looking at her in what looked like shock. At this point, Heavy Basher thought about, for a goblin, this guy was remarkably sturdy.
"Oh, sorry. I was just startled. But you're remarkably sturdy."
Then her brain caught her attention.
"What has happened?" "Fogdancer just told me that Alex was over the side and sleeping with the fishes."
"No, not sleeping with the fishies. I said, feeding the fishies." Fogdancer corrected her as forcefully as a 5-year-old can. "Har har," Deadwolfishy roared with laughter, as much as the high pitch of a goblin can be called a roar. "Oh you silly little gremlin, Fog. Oh, yes. No. Yes. That's what I said, wasn't it? Yes. No. Sorry. Your boss is just being sick over the side. It's no a biggie." Then Deadwolfishy smiled at Heavy Basher in a way that made her think about how supportive and friendly a smile could be and still be so full of such sharp teeth. She also realized that she still had her hand on his shoulder. She reluctantly pulled it off.
"Oh well, no harm done."
Then again her brain kicked in and she carefully sat down.
"Could you just give me a moment while I put these test tubes away, and then I will be right out."
Hello and welcome. So, this is our newest world building video. We are Wild Art Fly Free and we are building a fantasy world. It's really great that you could join us. We are building our world out of stories, and our stories are made from things like plots and scenes and locations and characters. We like it when people suggest ideas in the comments, but you really don't need to. And, also, if you do offer suggestions, please remember that everything that we create is public domain, so anyone can use it. No worries. And especially, please know that we are always interested in your ideas. I just want to mention one thing more. This week's episode might be a little bit shorter, but we will see. Well, it's just that our friend and colleague, Turtle, isn't feeling well. He is the person who does all of the technical stuff, including the wonderful Blender models and animations. So well. He did such a wonderful job on the last session about the goblins. Well, now he is just worn out and needs to take a break. We will talk more about that later. Anyway, about this episode. We are following the characters of the child halfling, Fogdancer, the wealthy human landlady, Alex, and the dwarf mad scientist, or should I say, mute scientist, Heavy Basher. So, we have put together some bits about how these guys got to where they are, so enjoy.
Roll again and see if it's a goblin, troll, or giant. Otherwise, it'll be a halfling, a human, a gnome, an elf, or a dwarf. Alright, so we roll for that, and this is, our first person is a halfling. And alright, so we'll roll again, female or male. And this is a female. Let's check out a random name generator from the internet for halflings. We usually just go with a single name, not two names here. I don't know if this will be the equivalent to a first name or a last name, but our female halfling has the name of Fogdancer. So that's, yeah, an interesting, possibly cute, possibly pretty name. Alright, let's roll for age. And this is a child. Alright. So we have a child, female halfling called Fogdancer.
Okay. At around day 380, our shy junior spy, Tinkle, is in Shattergrog. Rookie and Tinkle are seeking out the secrets of Shattergrog politics when Tinkle meets Fogdancer. They have met Dorinta and have worked out that he is a Jeepcrians. Fogdancer is very cute and Dorinta benefits from his association with her. So, while in Shattergrog, Tinkle forms a plan to get Fogdancer away from Dorinta. He wants to keep his plan a secret from his Vilglia companion, Rookie, since she works for the Vitgliv and would likely support handing the girl halfling to the dragons. He decides that he should get Fogdancer to Swamford, where he is sure that Easley will help. Well, he at least very much hopes that Easley will help.
So then, young Easley, the mysterious halfling, was a Tweedrill for most of her childhood. Tweedrill are humanoids who were kept by dragons when they were children. The Vitgliv love the Tweedrill like pets. The child people remind the dragons of their own children, but just a lot cuter. The Tweedrill are kept as a secret. You would have to ask a dragon to learn why. The dragons employ humanoid servants who protect and supervise the Tweedrill. These people are very serious about ensuring that the Tweedrill stays a secret. Many Vitgliv have sentimental attachments to their former Tweedrill, but if these humans start to cause problems, the dragons would just remind themselves that they are only human after all, and a dragon's got to do what a dragon's got to do. Okay, so Isli really needs to keep her past as a secret.
Okay. So now our small group has arrived in Swanford. We can assume that Tinkle will have sent a message to Eastleigh to keep an eye out for Fogdancer. How would Eastleigh handle their first meeting? This is like a halfling woman meeting a younger version of herself. How does Eastleigh feel about Tinkle's plan to keep Fogdancer away from the Vilglia and the Vitgliv? Does Eastleigh regret her past? We know that Eastleigh has reservations about her current situation. The Vilglia keep an eye on her, somehow, and make sure that she is safe. So, maybe Eastleigh would wonder, what was Tinkle thinking? Sending the halfling child to her? The Vilglia are the people who find small children and send them to be entertainment for the dragons.
We have almost all of our most important characters at one place at one time. Spoiler alert! It's going to blow up. We have decided that we are going to split our characters into different groups and send them off into different directions. Next we have Fogdancer's group. She will be accompanied by the wealthy landholder, Alex, as well as the dwarf mad scientist woman, Heavy Basher.
So, meeting the people in Swanford for the first time. Next we have Alex, spelled more like Allix, A-L-L-I-X. I'm going to say Alex for now. And she is a middle-aged human female. She owns a mine and is very wealthy. Heavy Basher is the local mad scientist. She's a female adult dwarf. So there we have a female mad scientist, breaking gender roles and probably race roles too. So Alex and Dowig are both human wealthy landowners. We know that. They really don't like each other. Now that's new. Maybe they dislike each other because they are rivals. Maybe they are just too much alike. Remember we learned about Tinkle, the gnome, who is shy, but he wants to adventure. Tinkle is getting gloomy. He's getting moody. We went to visit with the mad scientist, Heavy Basher, right, the female dwarf mad scientist. Tinkle had gone to Heavy Basher, and we were considering what Tinkle might want. Perhaps a potion to make him more brave, more confident. Okay, when Eastleigh was talking to Alex and Dowig, she was thinking about finding a new place to live. Eastleigh has asked Dowig about the mansion named Cryptic Tower, just outside of Swanford. She was just curious, but Dowig wanted to make sure that Alex was upfront about the problems with the house. Dowig also just wanted a chance to give some digs in at Alex. Alex is also keen to succeed as a landholder, and she also measures her success by her wealth. The main difference between the two is that when Alex fleeces her tenants, she cares about their welfare. She even cuts them a break if they have a good sob story.
So okay. We have had a lot of big ideas since we sent Fogdancer, Alex, and Heavybasher off from Swamford toward the northwest. We said that they would explore the coast of Aldla. Then we thought, how about going on a ship, and because we like stories of course, it had to be a pirate ship. With a ship we could really explore the oceans and seas around Aldla. There is so very much potential for stories when sailing the sea. Bunny was talking about sea monsters. So that's the plan. And, well, Turtle suggested we use our old model of a pirate guy. This guy is a goblin who has a pirate hat and a shiny hook tucked in his belt. But, then as we developed the idea more, Turtle started not feeling well. I think he is just getting overwhelmed. We decided that we want to limit our focus somewhat. The Viking Pirates ship seems awesome, but Turtle is really not eager to add too many more characters to our list. He feels like he needs to build a model for each new guy. He thinks that, now that he has started building models, people will expect a model for each guy. Is that true? Now that we have created some models, do people expect us to build a new model for each new guy? That's something we need to think about. Maybe we should focus on the silhouettes again. This is getting stressful and that's not good. A little stress is good, that's what gets us out of bed in the morning. Too much stress is the opposite. Turtle is still getting up in the morning, of course, but well, sometimes you can sense that he really doesn't want to. So anyway, we have jumped ahead with our plot. Now the plan is to bring Alex and Fogdancer back to solid ground because Alex gets seasick. If they take the other bay inland, we might just catch Dowig and the goblins as they are wandering the area. Won't that be a coincidence? It's almost Dickensian, that kind of coincidence. So okay. We are going to bring Fogdancer's group back inland. We just thought that maybe we should leave the deep sea adventures for another day.
In my intro, Fogdancer called the boat a sheep boat. That was just how she was saying ship, but it would drive Deadwolfishy crazy. Okay. I'm not a professional comic. It's okay if not every person gets every joke. I have a name for the bay that our guys will be traveling over on the pirate sheep boat. In honor of our favorite person, and the hope that he can start to feel better. I was playing with the phrase, Better Turtle, and came up with Beturtle Bay. If you have any suggestions for names, please share them with us. We have so many things to name, and more coming all the time. Okay, well then. We need some sailors to help our pirate captain. Deadwolfishy is a sea captain. He needs a first mate to tell all the sailors to do what Deadwolfishy says. We will roll the dice. We will use a d6 to choose from one of human, elf, gnome, halfling, dwarf, other. The others will be one of goblin, troll, kobold. A2. So Deadwolfishy's first mate is an elf. Okay. 1, 2, or 3, the elf is male. 4, 5, or 6, she is a woman sailor. A2 makes him a male. Now we need a name. Let's leave time for people to make some suggestions before we use a random name generator. For now we need a name until we learn his real name. We will call him Joe. And next, one more sailor type to work with Deadfishy. He needs a navigator. Someone who can tell the captain where and when the ship is and what direction is the closest sea monsters. Again, we roll for race. A4 gives us another halfling. That's okay, randomness is clumpy. Will we get another female? Let's roll. Yep. Another halfling woman. Well, at least we have only one other halfling female with us at the moment. Do we need to think of a reason that there are so many female halflings in our world and no halfling men? So, again, send in your ideas for halfling navigator female names. In the meantime, we will call this one Jill. Okay? Well then, awesome. Also, we think that Deadfishy's ship could be a Viking boat. Vikings were a few hundred years before the pirates on our world, but if you can accept kobolds, you should be able to accept Viking pirates. What do you say? How about, for fun, we make up a sea monster? Some sea creatures, especially the smartest ones, are mammals that evolved on land and then returned to the sea. So, maybe any kind of animal can do that. Let's see if we can make a random list of interesting animals. Crab, steer, warthog, dog, donkey, giraffe, prairie dog and hedgehog. Let's take out two that we don't like and then we can roll the dice. We will roll the dice twice to pick two and then combine them. Maybe we should lose the prairie dog and the donkey. They have fewer distinguishing features. Crab, steer, warthog, dog, giraffe, hedgehog. Okay. Rolling. Okay, we have a mix of dog and giraffe. That would be loyal with a long neck. That isn't very inspiring, is it? Okay. Maybe we lose the dog and try for something else? Or instead, let's take features from each animal. The crab's pincers. The steer has horns and hooves. The warthog has tusks and an impressive snout. The dog has a waggy tail. Then we can get a long neck from the giraffe and spines from the hedgehog. Okay. Let's just put that out there for now. Can you imagine how this chaos might come together as a sea creature? What would it eat? Is it intelligent? Would it keep treasure or maybe guard a doorway to some place that our heroes will want to go?
Okay. So, that's it for another video. We will think about names for these sailors and other things for a few weeks. Weeks is probably more time than we need, but we want to check in with some of our other guys. Do you remember the group with Easley, Billy and the Harlequin cult members, Grizzle and Kudik? They were heading south and will probably visit some of the towns that Yixie's group discovered on their way north to Swanford. Do you think they should stay around Lake out talking in Tote for a while? Of course we also need to check in on Yixie. That will probably be our next video. Do you remember that Yixie and Pete and Eldin stayed in Swanford? Do you also remember that Pete was the main reason that everyone else left? We have been thinking about how that happened and we hope to fill in some answers in our next video in about a week. And what about the other guys that weren't in Swamford? We shouldn't forget about them. So, we really do have a lot of stories to follow. Maybe we need to try something different. Do you think that we could have smaller updates more often? We are all about trying new things. If anyone thinks that might be a good idea, we will try it. In the meantime, thanks very much for staying with us. Your support means a lot. So, we really hope that you can see what we are working on for next week. And thank you.